Hi everyone, it's me, Lori Lytle, innergoddesstarot.com. So today I'd like to talk a little bit about bringing the idea of intention and ritual and invocations into your tarot readings. Because as I've said before, of course it's paramount. It's really important to learn the meanings of the cards as best you can, to learn about the cards as much as you can, but also we want to make sure that we connect with the cards on a deeper level, like getting beyond just what we read in the book, getting to trust our own relationship with the cards and our intuition, that kind of thing. So one thing that I find really helps with that is to create invocations and rituals and include those in your practice. So it's a way of two things. So one is, I find if you create a ritual or a routine that you follow when you read the cards, then it increases your confidence. It takes away doubts like, oh, I picked the wrong card, or I wasn't concentrating, or and not to say routine in a way where it's like gets boring or mechanical, but it's just a way where you understand, like you're telling yourself, you're telling your spirit, you're telling your subconscious, like, I'm sitting down here to read the cards now. So I find that kind of ritual or routine can really support you. And the other side of it is including ritual and invocations and intention brings the magic into the cards. So it's like it gives the opportunity to state your intention, why you're reading the cards. It's to invite in your guides, your guardians, helper spirits, deities, anyone that you would call on for support to help you, to express gratitude for having the opportunity to read the cards, and also to let the universe know what you're hoping to get out of the reading, and thanking those helpers that are around you. So why don't I back it up a bit, okay? So what do you do before you read the cards? I mean, we're talking in an ideal situation here. Of course, I would not want you to hesitate to read your cards even in the middle of a noisy coffee shop or at a friend's party or whatever. You read those cards, but in an ideal situation, you can set the scene for yourself. So let's say you decide you're going to do a reading for yourself or for someone else. Set the scene. So first of all, literally tidy the area, and pay no attention to the chaos that you see behind me here. When I'm reading my cards, I create an atmosphere of serenity even just by being tidy. Then you can take it a little farther. So do you want to have candles, incense, crystals that support you in your work, figurines or statues of deities that you work with, beautiful flowers or plants or anything from nature that inspires you? Do you want to have representations of all the elements that you'll be working with around you, like a dish of salt, a dish of water, a candle flame, incense, whatever resonates with you, but just to let yourself and the universe know that you're doing something special here. You're reading the cards. So next, take care of yourself. You set the scene, so take care of yourself. Center yourself, ground yourself. So whatever works for you, that a few deep breaths, feet flat on the floor. You can do a brief meditation, any kind of grounding meditation that reminds you that the Mother Earth is there supporting you, grounding you, keeping you safe, keeping you here and now, even when you're doing this spiritual work. But get yourself in a place where you're calm, you're centered, you're open to whatever messages the cards want to send you. Okay, create sacred space. So you can do this in a number of ways. I mean, for me personally, before I read for myself or before my client arrives, then I'm setting the sacred space around me. So I'm purifying it with, I like Palo Santo, but you could use incense, singing bowl, whatever you like to. Really, some really nice sprays if you don't want to burn something, like sage sprays, clearing sprays, but just to create a sacred vessel, a safe space to hold the energy of the reading, however you want to do that. For me, as I say, I call in the directions, I call in the corners, the elements and my helper guardians and spirits and deities to support me in my work. And then, so I like to include, I have an invocation that I use before I read, and I'm going to keep it to myself, but I encourage you to create your own. So essentially, your invocation is calling on those helpers to support you in your work. Or if you don't look at it that way, calling on your own higher self, asking to be open to receive these messages that are for the best of all involved, for the highest good. You can think about what you want to say, but essentially you're invoking a higher power or the higher power of yourself to oversee the reading. And then you can also set your intention. So this ties into with asking a question. So you can set the intention, like what do you want to find out from the reading? What information are you looking for? What kind of healing are you looking for? Put it out there as clearly and specifically as you can, so that the cards know, the universe knows what you want to know, what your purpose is for this reading. Then, of course, if you're using a spread, make sure you've chosen that spread, or if you are just laying out the cards free form, that's all good too. But it can be helpful to have a routine for how you draw those cards, or a ritual. So a way that you shuffle that really works for you. Do you cut the cards? How do you lay them out? How do you turn the cards over? So I mean, for me, usually I shuffle until it feels right. I cut the cards with using my left hand into 3 piles, then I put those piles back together, however my intuition tells me to do that, and then I lay the cards from the top of the deck. But anything, it's all good. You can do whatever works for you, but I find it's helpful that you know what you're doing. And then, like I say, you don't question or second guess yourself that you've done it incorrectly or something, if you don't understand the cards that come up, or if you don't like the cards that come up. So then, of course, you do the reading, which is a whole other topic, but you read the cards. And then it's really important as well to close the reading. So make sure you've gotten all you can out of the cards. And then thank your helpers, thank your higher self, release them, thank them, and say farewell. Let them know the work is done. And also release yourself from that energy. So if you have any residual or excess energy from that reading, especially if you're reading for someone else, thank them silently or out loud. Release that energy from you. You can send it back down into the earth, where the earth can take it, cleanse it, get rid of it for you. So you're doing that reading with the best of intentions, but you don't want to carry that energy around with you afterwards. So find a way to release it. Sometimes I find running your hands under cold running water is helpful. Just imagine that energy flowing out, or as I say, coming out of your hands into the earth and releasing you. So you're not tied to the person you're reading for, or if you're reading for yourself, you're not carrying that around. And one thing I forgot to mention too, that has to do with expectation, right? So when you're reading, try to let go of expectations. You're just open and curious and ready to see what the cards have to tell you. So same thing at the end of the reading. Like if you're reading for someone else, let go of any expectation of how things may pan out for them. Once you do the reading, it's done, right? Don't walk around thinking, oh, I wonder if I was right. I wonder what happened. I wonder if that thing I saw in the cards, if that happened. Let go of that, because that's not going to do you any good. And it's none of your business when, when you're done the reading, right? So just release it. So those are just a few ideas to get you thinking about how to create your own personal ritual when you read tarot. So not to make it routine or something heavy or boring, but just something that supports you, that this is a sacred practice. It's also a fun and interesting and exciting and enriching one, but you're doing something special and meaningful. So set the scene to acknowledge that. And I think you'll find that it really clicks you into a different place where you're going to get a lot more richness and depth out of your readings, because you're taking the time to create a sacred space and time for that reading. So thanks for watching. Again, it's Lori Lytle, innergoddesstarot.com. Please visit my website for more info about me, blog posts, book a reading. I'm in Toronto, but I also am available via Zoom or Skype, anywhere. So I'd love to read the cards for you. Take care. See you soon. Bye.